Hello, welcome. This is Pollyanna. Welcome to another one of my reviews. I'm going to be reviewing the documentary Three Mothers, Two Babies, and a Scandal. And I hope you like the review. I wrote it with a heavy heart. It's really, really difficult to watch this documentary and also to write the review about it. I hope you like it. There will be spoilers, so if you haven't seen this yet and you want to watch it, just don't watch this then. Three mothers, two babies, and a scandal. As a woman who is 52 years and 6 months old, who still menstruates and has not been hit with menopause as of yet, I would definitely have another child if I could afford to do so. Had I already gone through the change, which I have not, and I have already told you I have not, I would most likely adopt a child provided I could afford to do so. Yeah, I know. Too much information to the couple dozen or perhaps half a dozen people who will watch this. I do, however, plan on acknowledging the whole change thing. Once I'm completely menstruation free, which, like I said, I am not. I love children. One of the biggest downsides of living in Norway as a person who is blacker than Wesley Snipes and who could never afford all the same benefits afforded those people of other ethnicities. One of the biggest downsides of that is that I had to give up on the dream of having multiple children. And I'm saying this because I have one child and she's perfect. And I could not have asked for a better child. She's perfect. And I love her more than anything on this planet. And I am grateful for her. Nonetheless, I would have loved to have had at least perhaps another two children. This is why this documentary hit so hard and pulled at all my heartstrings. Three women who had that dream of being mothers are presented in this documentary under a very different light. To my understanding, the black mother, Trenda, already had at least one child whom she loved and appreciated deeply. As she proceeded to tell the story of getting pregnant, as her relationship with the father of her twins had already been deemed over, it is clear to me that she's most likely not an evil baby killer or any of the abhorrent creatures we hear about in documentaries about true crime. All the way in Britain, the audience meets Judith. She looks like she could be in her 80s. Nevertheless, it is difficult to say because one can observe her smoking throughout the documentary, hence her aged appearance could very well be due to her bad habits. She could be much younger than 80. A caricature of a British stereotype is vividly presented to those watching the documentary. I cannot tell if she's putting on an act or if she actually is every bit as amusing and, well, I wouldn't say amusing now that I think of it, but amusingly funny, if you will. What is not so funny, on the other hand, is the situation of the long haired woman in her 50s or 60s staring into the abyss with an emptiness in her eyes that could only be explained by the horrible loss she was forced to endure. This lady got to hold two beautiful baby girls and mother them for a short time, then had them snatched from her life. She too had the dream of being a mother, unlike Judith, who already had four biological children and who was only after an addition she was only after an addition to the family. Imagine that. So you have four children, that's already a handful, but she wanted more children. So she was different from Judith. This lady, she was so sad. You could feel her sadness watching her. Her sadness is palpable through the screen. Moreover, as a woman who in her late 20s was incredibly fearful of never being a mother, I can empathize with her on a level that mothers of several children would never understand. And when I was in my late 20s, I started to think I was never going to have a child. And I mean, I was already married, but like I said, when you're married and you're in your late 20s and you start to think, oh, I'm going to be 30 and I don't have a child yet. And then moving to Norway, being blacker than Wesley Snipes, knowing I didn't have the same job opportunities as other people, and knowing that I couldn't afford a child, I thought I was never going to be a mom. I mean, biologically, I was always super fertile, but I was just afraid I wasn't going to be able to afford one. I ended up having one child. Spoiler alert. So I can understand her fear of never being able to have a child. I wanted to hug her and tell her how sorry I am that she had to go through such a horrid situation. This whole situation started on the World Wide Web. The World Wide Web. Well, we all know the internet is like commonplace now, but it wasn't like that back in the day. As you can see in this documentary, you will understand that when you watch it. So there will be spoilers from now. So if you want to stop watching now, go ahead. Here's where some spoilers might appear. You can click away now. Trenda, Judith, and Vicky will never experience mothering the twins involved in the story. One of them, however, was close to doing so because she had those two precious girls with her and her husband in England for quite some time. My heart breaks for them, but I have many doubts regarding the stories told throughout the documentary. Trenda, Trenda Wecker, she claims she never tried to sell her babies on the internet. Judith does not think she did anything wrong by taking the babies to England with her and her husband. I have some questions about these two ladies. Far it be for me to judge anyone involved in this story. Well, I might judge the baby broker, Tina, who we never hear from in the document. I mean, we hear about her, but we never hear from her in the documentary. She was a huge part of this entire ordeal. So, notwithstanding all of those facts, the only one I feel was utterly innocent in this was Vicky. Vicky, poor Vicky. I mean, I can feel, like I said before, I could feel her sadness. Even though she said she would have paid as much as $8,000 to the baby broker, Tina, she was more deserving of the two children, in my opinion. It's just an opinion, right? Just an opinion, not judging. Not being able to conceive and carry a child is one of the most painful situations a woman who wants children can go through. And I would not be fair if I put any blame on Vicky for anything that happened. The reasons why I believe Trenda's and Judith's actions are questionable lie on the simple fact that Trenda could have simply kept her twins, and Judith, not Judy. I'm not pals with the girl. I can't call her Judy. Judith already had four children of her own and did not technically need another two. Hence my tears of joy for Vicky. I had tears of joy falling down my face when I realized she actually was able to adopt a little girl after losing the twins. Vicky's little girl grew up, and her own baby became the light of those women's lives. Therefore, at the end of the day, Vicky accomplished her dreams of becoming a mother. This was a happy ending for me. Judy, I mean, I keep calling her Judy. I don't know the woman. Judith already had children, so she did not need those two twins. She just really wanted them. I feel like in the end, when Vicky talks about her little girl that she adopted, we see the little girl grown up talking about her experiences having Vicky as a mom. Vicky, not Judith. It is beautiful to see. To me, it was more like a triumph of good versus evil. There were so many negative forces around the world exploiting the story for attention. In addition to that, there was also plenty of money involved. Two little baby girls, completely innocent and unaware of what was happening, were at the center of many disputes. It was frustrating to not have a scene at the end. Yeah, if you're waiting to see the two twins grown up and talking about their lives, it's not going to happen. Okay? It's just not going to happen. You will be disappointed. Just, I was disappointed. It is not, I mean, it's not that I don't see that the children grew up and possibly wanted privacy. I get that. As an avid documentary viewer, however, I want to see the story all the way through. So, no, we do not get to see the girls all grown up. We do, of course, hear that they were adopted by their foster family, lived a fantastic life with them, went on to be adroit individuals, obtained their happily ever after. Nothing could have been more reassuring than the last words of this documentary, letting the viewers know that the twins found their forever home, lived a fulfilling life, accomplishing more than they would if the story had been different. Their names were changed, and at the end, a university diploma for each girl was what life had in store for them. Three mothers, two babies, and a scandal. Subscribe to this channel for more reviews. See you next time. I'm Pollyanna, by the way.